Thanks for coming to the August 9th Dash community meeting. What today would be the 79th meeting. What I'm showing on the screen for anyone who's new are the meeting minutes from the last 2 times I had to combine them. But usually I send these out weekly when we're done with the calls. And last week I sent out that we merged a couple of PRs and I mentioned that Chris and I did a stale branch cleanup of the repo, and then we kind of go into who attended and what we talked about. We have a project board here, and so the two that merged last week, I don't know if you can see it very well, but I put in green here, done this week, merged. So that's kind of the status here on the board. And then if you want more information about it, what we actually talked about, I put it here in the discussion part. So these go out every week. And so we talked about 403 and the other one that I can't remember right now. And so anyway, that's what we did last week. And then this week, I think NVIDIA wanted to revisit the ACL tag conversation, and so I thought I'd bring that up and check and see if anyone from NVIDIA, I know Sasha's here, and Marian's here. Did we want to talk about that this week, Sasha or Marian?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's do it.
Kristina, before we do that, I just wanted to mention for the record, I helped Kamil merge several small incremental improvements to the libsai backend code.
Okay.
The closed pull requests.
Okay.
It's not something that needs a lot of community participation. It's kind of like refactoring and refreshing some of the code. I wanted to bring that also to Marian's attention because it does touch on a lot of code that you created years ago, Marian, and he's going through and kind of overhauling things to make them more in alignment with how syncd expects libsai to work for like a real SONiC install. We've initially worked in our own little Dash playground where we can simulate and do things without trying to necessarily integrate fully into SONiC. But Kamil is working on a long-term vision where Dash could extensively be linked into the SONiC stack, the Dash simulator. And so he's finding loose ends and reconciling things, bringing it up to par.
Yeah, let's look at those. Let's look at those after, just briefly after we talk about let's do that. That'd be cool.
I didn't want to really get into the code review as much as just let people know what's going on in the background.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Okay, go ahead, Marian.
So about the tags, I just have a question to the other members of the community. So tags were originally meant to serve two purposes. First is that that's the language the controller speaks. That's the kind of the alias for a predefined list of prefixes, and that's how we will receive some configuration from the controller. So it is reflected in the SONiC Dash schema. And second was that there was a potential for maybe some optimization memory-wise. So we wanted to push this into SAI as well. But after doing the calculation and actually trying to simulate this kind of configuration with tags, we found out that at least for us, if we do tags on SAI level, the savings are negligible. So up till now, what was done is that we have come up with the first phase of tag implementation. There is OrchAgent design for tag support published, and this will be in OrchAgent anyway. but we haven't merged the tags into SAI APIs, and as of now, we don't see a need for them inside. So my question is, what do other vendors think? Is there anyone who thinks that they would still like to see ACL tags inside a layer as well, or you're also kind of on the side that if OrchAgent would expand everything to prefixes, you'll be fine with that?
And guys, what I'm showing on the screen is where we started talking about it way back when. We had at least, I think, 5 weeks of conversation trying to determine whether we thought the optimization would help everyone and whether it was going to be optional. And we were worried about, was it the prefix expansion? I'm just trying to jog everyone's memory here. So that's kind of what I remember from the conversation. And then we had a presentation from Excite Labs to talk more about it. And we kept talking about it through May. Yeah. So anyone have an opinion here?
Kristina, I
yeah.
sent in a chat a link to the HLD for ACL tags in SONiC
Okay, thanks.
implementation. So.
Okay, thanks.
This is John. I mean, I think from our perspective, we would be perfectly happy to remove tags from the SAI APIs. I think it would actually simplify things in terms of the behavioral model, and it, you know, it doesn't, you know, impact like the capability of the data plane if the rules were all expanded. So we would be okay with it not being part of the SAI. We're okay with it either way, but if it simplifies things to not have it, we'd say go for it.
Is the expectation that we don't expect, but do you expect to see a case where, let's say, a tag that has, I don't know, 100,000 prefixes be used 1,000 times in rules? That's not the case you expect to see? I mean, I'm just trying to make up a scenario where preserving tags further down seems to save a lot of space, but I guess if you don't think that's possible, like the user can somebody, a controller can configure that, I assume, right? You're planning for that?
I think that's a question for Microsoft, right? I mean, like, I don't think we can.
And Microsoft has said every time that it's arbitrary, right? They've never pinned it down ever, unless somebody else did it.
There is, however, the limit of number of rules, right? No matter what.
But everyone could have a tag that's big.
Yeah, I mean, they could. I mean,
that's kind of a worst case question, and I understand that, but like Microsoft has never said anything to limit the worst case.
Well, what Microsoft, I think what's been said is like, what's the total number of prefixes that can be in the rules, right?
For expansion?
Like before tags were even introduced, there was a constraint on the total number of prefixes in the set of rules. And
tags, the introduction of tags should not cause those limits to be exceeded.
That's my understanding, right? Is that it was a way to maybe, you know, sort of compress the specification of those rules, but I don't think it changes the total number of prefixes like after those tags were expanded.
Okay. And so, for example, if a controller says, oh, this tag, which I've used in 1,000 rules, I'm going to add one prefix to, at the SAI layer, that would turn into adding one prefix to 1,000 different rules.
Right.
Okay. If everybody's fine with that, I'm okay. I just wanted to call it out. Make sure everybody's aware.
It would actually be slightly different because, okay, if you didn't have ACL tags, they will have to anyway recreate a brand new group because you cannot update active groups, right?
Why not?
So there are other things going on just because you modify a rule.
Why can't you add a prefix to a tag and it's used 1,000 times? That's somehow prohibited?
No, that's not what I say. What I say is that if you modify, when you start modifying in place active rule sets, there's a whole lot more than just changing that one rule, because you're not allowed to change the rule set per se while it's active.
You're not allowed to change the rule set while it's active. Can you explain that? I'm sorry if I'm way behind. What does that mean?
So if you
can't change the rules, like what do you mean? They have to stay the same as they're initially deployed? That doesn't make any sense.
No. What I'm saying is that, okay, a group is a set of rules, right? If you modify rules there, you cannot. You have to basically recreate a new group, and then once that group is created, then you update the group on the ENI, and get rid of the other stuff.
While doing that, you can use tags that are now different than they were before.
I think it's kind of somewhat orthogonal, right, Vincent? I mean, there's the way that rules are applied, or like an entire, set of rules is applied like atomically, and you can't just modify one rule at a time. You create a whole new set of rules and apply a new set of rules. That's kind of orthogonal to whether tags are used or not, right?
Mhm.
Yes,
Because the
although
optimization is negligible, or
well, unfortunately, just on the modification, just recall that a tag actually can be modified. Like it can be expanded by one rule, by one prefix, and you basically have to return everything. I think that was allowed, but no matter what we do, some vendors could, if you change an ACL tags, because you also have priority within that, right? I mean, the whatever code below the side will have to return and make sure, whatever they have, if they're using TCAM, they might have to reshuffle the mask. I mean, who knows, right? So in my opinion, tags in general, okay, maybe they're convenient from a control plane standpoint, but from a data plane standpoint, because of underlying expansions or churn or whatever, it just adds complexity.
This is covered in the HLD that I posted here in the chat. So upon ACL tag update, if this tag affects the existing group with the rules, so the new group internally in the application will be created. It will copy and update all affected. It will copy all ACL rules and update all affected ACL rules, and then bind new group to the ENI. So this will be almost atomic operation.
Oh, so you actually do it. If you modify a tag that's in use, you actually update you're doing the updates groups as if it were a modified rule, which basically it's a whole different group. That's new. I don't think that was stated, so it's good that you state that now.
It makes perfect sense from the configuration point of view, right? You want the tag to take effect everywhere.
And that's not what I'm saying, but you could have that and just say, you could tell SAI, hey, and basically the vendor in the side lib, hey, I changed the tag, deal with it, right? But in this case, it's under actual, it's a new set of rule, a new group, right? Is that what you said, Oleg?
Yes, internally it will be the new group, and all the rules will be copied in the new group, and all the affected rules will be updated, and the new group will be bound to the ENI, and the old one will be removed together with all the rules.
So from the side,
let me bring the conversation a little bit back. The behavior with or without SAI API should be the same. But the question is there a benefit to do it in SAI?
right. And if we don't have the answer, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying from the AMD side, we were also not relying on the tags. I think the main point for us was that we support the scale of prefixes that's required for deployment. So there was no
Yeah.
necessity for us to support tags. So I think our plan of action was to report that tag is unsupported and expect the OrchAgent to expand it. So now if you're going to remove the tag support, then I think it should be okay.
Okay, so we have two kind of votes here. Go ahead, Reshma, sorry.
No worries. Are we fully removing the tags requirement from SAI?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking about.
So then there will be no change in OrchAgent, etc. Related to the mapping of all the 32 million prefixes with the tags?
Sorry, where's 32 million prefixes?
The scale
Not
is
following.
ACL prefix scale is 32 million, right?
I don't recall what's the scale number, but it doesn't change with prefixes or with tags or without them.
Right.
I think Mariam was saying that when NVIDIA did the work and did the testing, it didn't really change from their perspective whether they use the tags or not. So therefore, do we need to extend it into SAI? Am I recapping that correctly?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
then they thought, well, since we had such a large conversation about it in May, we thought we'd bring it back here to the community, because really, I don't know that anyone else was going to use tags either.
no, but okay, that's a couple of weeks of development I won't get back, but that's all right, I suppose.
What's that, Vincent?
It's just a couple of weeks of development that I won't get back. We talk about this, so I mean, it's nice. In my opinion, it's nice. It simplifies things if we get rid of it, because if NVIDIA doesn't need it, then I guess nobody needs it to start with.
Okay, sounds like we have some sort of consensus here then. If everyone else agrees.
Yeah.
Shitanshu, I don't know if you joined or not, but yeah.
I see Shitanshu, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do you have an opinion, Shitanshu?
I'm sorry, I've just joined. I'm just catching up with the discussions. And if I understand, basically what we are seeing is that the tags are not gonna be SAI APIs and southbound. OrchAgent will take care of manipulating tags and essentially creating ACL rules.
Is that right, Marian?
Yeah. You can see the shared design. This is what was planned initially, and SAI tags were optional, and now we're trying to understand if that option is used by anyone at all, because we're doing the OrchAgent implementation, so we don't want to waste time on it.
Yeah, I mean, that probably makes sense. The only difference that was there with tags before is that I think the ACL configuration somewhere it's spelled out that the new ACL group needs to be created fully first, and then remove the old one, attach the new one to ENI. In case of tags, it was left it open that without even removing or reattaching ACL groups, you can modify basically tags and prefix association runtime. So that's the big difference that was there. I think this will simplify things if we just create all the ACL rules and groups on OrchAgent and have the condition that you have to create a new group, remove the old one and attach the new one.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, anyone else? Let's see, who else do I have here? Intel, AMD.
I just want to double confirm with Marian and Vijay, so they can support the Apple scale without tag, right?
I think that's the whole goal. Yeah, I think that's the goal. in May, before you joined Kumaresh, they were attempting to see if using tags would help with, I think it was memory optimization in getting to that scale. Is that correct, guys?
Kristina, sorry, I couldn't hear you well. Could you repeat?
Oh, I'm sorry. So Kumaresh was asking, he wanted to know, do people think they can get to the scale without using tags? And I said, I think the whole conversation in May was, we were exploring the use of tags to see if it with memory optimization in getting to the scale, but after the experimentation, it doesn't seem to be. So I guess I'd leave that to each supplier to comment whether they think they could get to the scale.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of flawed to begin with to say like, oh, we would require tags in order to hit the scale, because I think like you can't be guaranteed that tags are going to even be used, right? So like I think it's flawed for a vendor to say like, oh, we require tags to hit some kind of scale. I think someone might say, well, if you use tags, then maybe we can optimize the use of memory. But even that, I think that a vendor could, under the covers, like factor all the rules and try to look, sort of create the same benefit that tags would have given them without tags. Like if the vendor wants to like factor the rules and find ways to save memory, they can still do that.
You can do that, but why would OrchAgent expand tags for the same implementation to compress them back? I think that's the motivation, not to reverse the work done in higher level and push it through.
But how are these tags? How did these tags originate in the first place? They probably originated in the first place because some customer or tenant had some kind of logical grouping of prefixes. It's not.
No, they are defined by the CSP because those reflect some predefined areas, regions, whatever.
Okay.
They're not user defined.
Okay.
I think that answers the question, Kumaresh. I think
there was like an opportunity for optimization. We were exploring it. Doesn't seem worth it.
Right.
So I'm wondering if anyone else was exploring that or not.
Doesn't sound like it. Let me see who else I have here. So I have Intel, I have AMD.
I kind of agree that
I can tell you, Marion, like we would support tags in the SAI API, but it wouldn't have any impact on our data plane, like in terms of memory or savings or not. So like we're okay.
So why would you support it for OrchAgent? It's optional.
Right. So we would be okay with the SAI not doing tags. It's simpler for us.
Yeah, that's cool.
You got to be careful about the optional things, because once it's optional, then it's not just SAI. You have the other stuff, and then you have all this combination that need to be tested. So you don't want to play with optional. And when we talk about optional with ACL tag and all that, it became messy very quickly. So if you can avoid optional, I think you're better off anyway.
What do you mean? We planned from the beginning to support OrchAgent expanding tags or passing tags to SAI, both cases. Now we only want to leave expanding tags.
Right, it simplifies everything, right? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's less work. That's why I'm bringing this up.
Well, also, and as I said, I mean, it brings consistency that the tag notifications via SAI had a different behavior where, live ACL rules can be modified indirectly in a way, versus in this case, now you have completely new ACL group, be it via tag or without tag. So you have a consistent way of, create a new ACL group with all the rules, remove the old one, attach the new one. And below the SAI, they just see the behavior same way.
So that means that like if we agree, the P4 code has to be updated, so the generated SAI API gets removed, et cetera, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sounds good. I think we should just remove it if there is no requirement from any of the vendors, and just keep the SAI layer clean.
Okay. Okay, let's move on then. Thanks everybody for talking about that. Let's see. Let's see what else we're going to talk about. God, no, I can't remember. Chris, did you want to talk real quickly about the work items with Kamil? Did you want to present? Or do you want me to?
Sure. I can take the screen just to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me stop presenting. Hey, thanks for the conversation on that, guys. And hey, while we're talking, maybe could I don't know how to pronounce the name, mxiao and Jeevan, maybe tell me where you're coming in from so I can get your opinions later.
Hi, this is Jeevan Kamsetti. I'm coming from engineering and Arista.
Arista. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I think the other one is Max. Max is also from Arista. Max,
wonderful.
you can introduce yourself.
Welcome to our awesome conversation today about ACL Tags. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah. So I was starting to say earlier, Kamil Kudnik is working on basically overhauling or uplifting a little bit the libsai for the dash behavioral model. And so he's been, his goal is to kind of make it completely compatible and with syncd, so we can actually compile it into a potentially a virtual SONiC distro. And he said the long-term goals are to try to make a SONiC instance that includes the dash behavioral model. So that's kind of a long-term aspiration, because that would mean implementing, the entire underlay as well. But short of that, he's still just trying to fix APIs and reconcile small shortcomings that he's finding as he goes through it with a fine-tooth comb. And so he's working on that, and I'm reviewing the pull requests and generally accepting them, assuming that the CI pipeline passes, because it's really not a functional change. It's just kind of fixing certain things like object IDs and finding maybe memory leaks or little practices that he's improving. So I just wanted to let people know that that's going on behind the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And he generally requests review from a few people, but I seem to be the only one really following it in real time. And I want to let him work, at the speed he's working at, which is really fast. So I review the changes, and assuming everything's passing, I'm being approving it. A lot of times we wait for the whole group to look at changes, but those are generally when there's a functional change or a spec change. This is all just under the hood polishing. So I'm not trying to slow things down with the whole group review. If anyone has any, concerns about that approach, please, raise your voice here. Otherwise, I'll just continue to try to expedite his efforts. And Kamil's kind of a maintainer in the SAI repo. To my understanding, he's quite expert at this stuff. So I'm also, trusting that he's doing what's best in the best interest of the Dash project.
Has anyone else seen the request for review come through from Kamil?
It's usually a small group of reviewers like Marian or Gohan,
Okay.
people who are real close to the action.
Okay.
So I just wanted to, let people know, because he might be in a different time zone. I don't know that he's prone to attend these meetings.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Well, I guess keep our eyes open if you see anything from Kamil.
Okay.
Hey, Chris, while you're in there, can you show the path to go clean up stale branches for everyone real quick?
Yeah.
It was settings, and then I think it was.
Well,
or was it branches? Actually, it was branches.
I think you just want to look at branches. And
yeah.
There had been quite a number of them in this repo. week ago. There's still some.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think we deleted branches belonging to other people in general.
No.
But if people want to go through and confirm that, yes, these branches are stale, just hit the trash can.
Yeah.
Or if you don't have permission to do that for some reason, bring it to mine or Kristina's attention and we can do it for you. But what happens is a lot of times, like anything that says dash patch dash something generally means someone edited it and made a change directly in the web UI, and it created a patch branch as part of that indirectly. And when you merge it and don't click the box, delete branch when done, then it's going to linger around for forever. So do some housekeeping, but there's not too many in here. As far as this meeting, I don't know if Prince is on the call. You might want to
No,
take.
we have a Kumarash. We don't have Prince, right? I think he's still out this week.
Yeah. So anyway, we cleaned up some of this stuff.
Yeah, August is a funny time. People start taking their time off and stuff. So
just like Europeans or something.
Yep. Okay, thanks, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll steal the share back. And so I'm curious, did anyone else have a PR or something they wanted to cover this week? We wanted to check in with Yuri if Yuri's on the call about 395.
Kristina,
Yeah.
someone else is looking into this PR.
Okay.
I have assigned Ravi is going to be looking into this.
Okay. Who? How do you spell that?
RABI.
Ravi. Okay.
Yes.
Ravi. Put that in the notes. So if you guys haven't seen this before, this is GitHub's version of a project board. And so you can basically you can add things here and then you can hook it up to an issue or a PR, and then you can, put status notes, assign it kind of where you are with certain things, and then, throw it into an email or something. And then this is like the work we've done. Last week I said we had done this week, but now I'll just say it's done because, we're in a different week. And then, how about this one, Reshma, the P4 DPDK on the horizon?
I have, I'm yet to discuss with Usha, so I will have more update next week.
Okay. Okay. Thanks. And then, so this is a handy way to do it. So are we going to close this one then, Marian? We're going to close this generate SAI for ACL tags, probably.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll do that later today. And then we did this. Still working on this one. This is old. And could we clarify this one a little bit more? So we'd like to add meter policy scale information into the HLD. So Vincent, was this yours from your issue, or let me look here. Meter policy scale.
No.
No, you had a different issue. Let me look it up real quick here. Sorry.
Yeah, I closed the old one and I reopened the more
Yeah, you
specific
did.
ones.
Where was it? This one, clarification on optional counters.
Yeah, that's the one I've opened.
Okay. All right.
But
And
it's
so
not
this-
meter anymore, right?
Okay, so this describes, there doesn't seem to be much about route mappings, ACL optional counters. Okay, so.
Yeah,
okay,
there's
I
nothing
guess-
about meter anymore in there. It's just
Yeah.
debug counters.
So yeah, this is Kumarash here. So Kumarash, would you have time to look at this one?
Yeah, sure, Kristina.
You, okay. Do you need me to put the link in the chat?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. And it could be that we're working on it and, we'll have more info. So anyway, back to this. Okay. So did anyone else have anything this week?
So sorry, since you're in this dashboard, I guess we'll have some kind of item for removal of the ACL tag. Because we do have P4 code, therefore, the rest comes with it.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah, this needs to be moved into remove ACL tag from the P4 and dash repo, basically.
Okay. So I'll make an issue and then some lucky person will have to work on it, right? Okay, I'll do that. Okay. I'll do that later. Thanks, Vincent. Okay, so it's 9:39. I'll do that later today. Did anyone else have anything on the call? It's up for discussion now. Q&A, questions. Do you need to be brought up to speed on anything if you're new? That kind of thing. Back on camera. Okay, if not, I can only do the 3-second rule. I can let you have time back if that's it for today.
Thank you.
So yeah, okay. Then I guess I'll see. Oh, hi, Marley. I guess I'll see everyone later then.
Thank you, Kristina.
Bye.
Okay, thanks. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.